It's Wednesday. And you know what that means? It means, look, a wild Jeff Meacham has appeared.
Woo, what a shock. Yes, he is called from the wild. I'm actually not at the House of Mouse for once. No, it is I've watched that opening a few times since you debuted it. I gotta say, my favorite part is the cameos of Boogie Cherry sandwiched around the shot of you with the belt in front of you. Like this is, I don't know what's my favorite part. I pop for it every time. It's like double Boogeyman Cherry sandwiched around the championship shot is everything for me. I don't know.
I mean, anyway, it's a very classic moment in the history of the symbol.
Yes. Greg's entrances definitely are pop worthy, and the fact that we got Sean to pop on the big Greg Chosky, I think, was the best part for sure.
It's because I fucked it up. That's why.
Yes. Well, those are the best kinds of imitations when you royally colossally screw them up. I mean, look at the big Valshowski. That went so well for Paul White. God bless him. Oh my goodness!
What's up, Brian?
It is Brian Doyle's here. I always get to see Brian Doyle. Yeah, it's a rare thing for the two of us. First of all, to be doing the show. Maddie's on his way, but it's rare that you and I have done the show, just you and I, in a while. So
it has been. I mean, the last couple of weeks it's been just me.
I blame that fully on. By the way, there is a reason I was gone so much. I was getting the last part of my probation done. I'm officially back, eligible for full time, all the things. So yay me, woohoo and shit. It is gratifying to be back, fully ingratiated into the House of Mouse or the Master Mafia, depending on who you ask. But yeah, good stuff. I know a lot of people out there are hurting for that type of situation. I know our buddy G recently is dealing with that kind of crap. So I do not take my situation for granted like I did last time. I'm very grateful for what I
have. Brian Doyle bringing up last week, which we don't get me wrong. We are going to talk about that with Jeff because I want Jeff, and when Matty gets here, we'll get his opinion on it too. About the pipe bomb that I dropped last week, which again I didn't expect to get any traction, and that is what it is. It might get more views depending on how next week goes.
Well, yeah, I mean next week, I unfortunately can't be here, but you've got somebody far more qualified to talk about wrestling than I am, even. So I'm happy for you that he's coming back.
He might disagree with that.
I know. That's because he's a humble mucker brother, and we love him for that.
So we might as well, we might as well just say this right now. I've been teasing it for a few weeks, trying to get a date nailed down, but next week, as Adam Pearce would say, it is official. Yes. Our buddy Maven Huffman is back.
Yes,
on the Greg
I love it.
And I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. He doesn't have to worry about the trivia side of things. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, it's a conversation, and much like today, it won't necessarily go an hour. It might go longer. So
it depends.
They definitely will.
Yeah, we do have a lot to talk about. I do want your opinion though. Brian Doyle brought it up. I brought up last week, and I went on for 20 minutes about this.
Yeah. So, as you should.
Obviously, last Monday, not this past Monday, but the Monday before, Zoe started suffering that horrific knee injury.
Oh, God, just brutal.
And I brought it up that it made me a little, I don't know if uncomfortable is the right word, but a little kind of sick that some content creators kind of pounced on that and decided, hey, I'm going to show you the video of the upload and my reaction to my channel so I can, make a little sweet scratch, get those likes and comments and views on my stuff so you watch my stuff more. And it's like,
right.
I understand, you're reviewing content, you're reviewing the show. That's part of what you do. You can leave that one out. You can have some discretion, for crying out loud. And I want your thoughts on that, because like we don't do it like we've done the show reviews before, but we don't put the video footage on screen mostly because of copyright.
Yeah.
But like it makes no sense to me to post something like that and like not even have a second thought about it.
So I'm of many minds, but all in line with what you were saying last week about it. I even now, as I look back on, God, 20 almost 23 years of doing this, even when I would that even when the show I was on was doing it, or whether I was actively participating, I don't remember. And again, this I can attribute this to my own faulty memory, and if I am, somebody please call me out on it in the chat, or when you're watching on demand later, I'll gladly own it. I've never understood the need to be outright, have exploitation of that nature in my content. Like I don't understand the the need on a basic human level to seek out the negative side of things and profit, be it monetarily or emotionally or whatever, off of the suffering of others. I think it's ridiculous. Um, am I a Zoe Stark fan as a rule? No, I'm not. I admit that. I've said that on the air. But to actively, you know, attempt to benefit from somebody who is still very young in their career, who is, admittedly kind of floundering, considering two-thirds of her faction are now released from the company, and the person she was originally paired with is a in and out personality in Trish Stratus.
Yeah.
To wish and to be okay with the nature of her injury is just it's inhumane, I think, from my point of view.
And
Um,
I don't know if like I'm not saying they were like happy with her injury. Like obviously, like nobody's happy with the injury, and the reaction showed as much. It's just the
but no, I
fact
understand that.
it's just the fact that they could have left that off of their channel. Like they could have left it off of their reactions. Like I said it last week as well. The live stuff you can't prepare for. That's nothing like if you're watching the live stuff and it's just your reaction, it's not the video of it. Like that
Yeah.
that is what it is, because it's live entertainment. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't prepare for that. That's one thing completely.
Correct.
But to intentionally go back and clip that specific moment for the purpose of uploading it on your channel.
No, it does. It would be like in January of 2001 having a reaction to the injury to Sid,
Yeah.
and then going back on whatever platform you were watching at the time. Of course, there wasn't this kind of technology back then, but
Right.
if we were to go back and do a wrestling rewind of that show now and have the injury playing right here behind us, it's a little much.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, you will still not watch the Terry Funk Sabu match because
Correct.
of all the graphics of it. Even though they're both gone, and I think you should just for the shits and giggles of it at this point.
It's the weirdest thing, okay? Because
I know.
I refuse to watch that match, but Sabu and Abyss in the Barbed Wire Massacre is a guilty pleasure match of mine. I can't make heads or tails of it, but also there's no muscles hanging out of the body for that one.
I was gonna say Sabu in his own special way was more careful with Abyss apparently than he was with the Funker. Yeah, to be honest, I can't watch that match either. I do if I'm asked, but some people just can't stomach it, and I'm much more squeamish about it than I was when I was badgering you about it back in the day. And I'm much more sensitive to a lot of it. Like I still can't watch Foley and The Rock back from the Royal Rumble, even though I watched that show just to see Aaron in the crowd as Austin McMahon are fighting up the rail, because that's funnier than shit to see Aaron at 15 years old. It's I can't watch Lesnar Cena from SummerSlam. Being there and the muscle memory just kicked in. It's awful. But with this, it's you're right. I wasn't trying to accuse the poster of being gleeful at her injury, but the fact that it was edited back into the video in post suggests that they I mean, they purposely went back in and made it part of their clip. There's
Yeah.
just no need for that. If somebody's watching your content to review Monday Night Raw, they're pretty much aware of what happened. And if they're not aware and you don't have the capability with your own verbiage to describe what happened, maybe you should talk about a different part of the show.
And like, if they would have gone back, if they would have left that off the show and they would have just made a video talking about the injury without showing like pictures or video of it or anything like that, I'm good with that.
Same.
Like, I'm
Same.
perfectly, like, discussion of something that happened is fine.
Yeah.
But like,
Yep.
I it just bothered me to my core that
No,
you're seeing
and
somebody on camera suffering in a lot of pain, probably a major, like, months of their career completely gone.
Yep.
And like, you're posting it on your stuff and getting
Yeah.
all the reactions and stuff. It might be something I have to ask Maven too. Like, I know he's done like YouTube stuff of like injuries from the past and whatever. I feel like that's different because like the injuries there were like, yeah, they look like they hurt, but he didn't review like the Sid leg break or like anything like that.
No, and it's I think unfortunately the nature of this is subjective. I don't think it should be, but that's not me being subjective. That's me being objective. So I'm being subjective about a subject I think should be objective. So I don't know, but I do know that after that show last week, there was a whole lot of stuff that went on over this weekend, and I have my own gripe. It's completely petty. It's completely what it is. But we can get into my bitch about the weekend when we talk about what happened on this, because there was a lot of wrestling this weekend, like a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to talk about just in the last few days with
Yeah.
wrestling. Saturday night's main event happened. John Cena defeated Ron Cena.
Yes, he did. Yes,
Cody Rhodes returned, setting up a tag team match for Money in the Bank because Jey Uso retained the title over Logan Paul. So it'll be Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes versus Cena and Logan Paul, which is apparently supposed to be Cena and Travis Scott, from what I've heard.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of streamers and podcasters up the WWE's ass about this. To think that WWE is so arrogant that they can have a finite plan in place and not have the ability to pivot is silly on the podcaster's part, silly on the streamer's part. Like, come on, guys. Like, Travis Scott is a hot commodity, whether you like his brand or not, whether you appreciate his brand or not, whether you like what he did in Montreal or what he did in Vegas or not. Travis Scott is Travis Scott, and if he's not going to be there to do something, WWE has to pivot. Much like what happened with Dwayne, people were so up in their shit about The Rock not being there, but there was a perfectly valid reason for him not to be there.
Yeah.
So having Logan Paul in there just cements exactly how far John Cena has got himself lost in this new mindset of his. I think it's brilliant personally. I think it's great booking. And I love that we had the moment of, maybe John will be okay. He's not going to hit Ron in the face, and then he just ended up hitting him in the truth instead. So it worked out. He's still the champion.
He hit him right in the K quick.
That's right. He got rowdy with it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Brian. Please don't hate me more.
No, it's fine. Also,
I'm pretty sure Dog likes me, to be honest with you. It's other people in the costumes that I'm fond of. Anyway, carry on.
Also, we had NXT Battleground at Double or Nothing on Sunday. Just a couple wild matches, a couple wild nights. Obviously, if you saw the graphic, Mercedes Moné won the Owen Hart champion or the Owen Hart Cup. So
tournament,
she is going to be facing off against Timeless Tony Storm, which that match should be excellent. And quite frankly,
Yes.
if you're not excited about a Mercedes Moné match, it's kind of on you at this point. It's
So,
and the Mercedes Hogan stuff has got to stop. My
it
goodness.
does. It's so bad.
I'm just happy that, the greatest women's wrestler of all time is finally getting a reign and a run that she deserves. Okay? Like, get off of her. It's so ridiculous at this point.
Again, there are always going to be the haters, and people have formed their opinion about Mercedes, and you and I don't necessarily agree with that opinion. But that is the beauty and the beauty and the burden of doing what we do. Not everybody's going to have the same opinion as us. Some people are just nastier about it than others. I'm looking forward to Tony Storm versus Mercedes Moné. I've looked forward to it for the minute she signed her contract with AEW. I've been waiting for it. I'm here for that. I'm here. God help me. I'm here for Hangman and Moxley. Like, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for Hangman to be the guy to take Moxley down. And that is so weird for me to say, because I was not a Hangman Page fan, but again, in my, trying to have a phrase without sounding like a complete, preachy douche. In my recent stepping back from everything and not doing shows like this, shows like the No Guarantee Review, stuff with the Simple Able Studios on the regular, I've been able to get a better perspective and a look at things. And yeah, Hangman Page going off into business for himself cost AEW CM Punk. That's if you trace it back to the beginnings of what happened all the way to him leaving, it starts and ends with Hangman Page and the Bucks, and it kind of devolves into that.
Yeah, and Jack Perry. Like, let's.
Well, Jack's a whole other issue, unfortunately. But
Jack, I think, was the match that kind of lit the fire.
No, very much so. So the conversation on air with Hangman kind of stoked the flames that were already simmering. The conversation with the Bucks and then the subsequent thing with Jack Perry just lit Punk up like a tree. But you know what? Because of that, we got Punk back in WWE. We got a tremendous both nights of WrestleMania main events. I'm not mad about that anymore. So I'm really not even upset with Hangman Page anymore. And the story with Moxley has been so stagnant, for lack of a better term, because it's just like, where's this going? And if Hangman Page's redemption is also the redemption of the AEW World Title, then let's fucking go. I'm here for the match. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with both of those scenarios playing out. I really don't care who wins. I know you do. But I really don't care who wins between Mercedes and Tony. I just want it to be a good match, which I don't think it cannot be at this point. Both of them are so on their game right now. Tony's back in her complete off the freaking deep end mode with her timeless gimmick. Mercedes is on her shit right now. It's gonna be a hell of a pair of world title matches without question. Mm-hmm. In where the hell are they gonna be for? Oh, Texas.
All in Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all in Texas. Yeah, which is gonna be a busy weekend if you're part of the Simple Able Studios team. There's 3 shows on Friday and 3 shows on Saturday that weekend.
Yeah, that's gonna be insane.
They are crazy people. They are, but I love them.
I'll tell you what, like the Hangman and Page and John Moxley, like we've seen them face off before. We've seen them face off in a Texas Death Match. I mean, Moxley tapped out to Page in a Texas Death. So sending Hangman back, I don't know if we're gonna get like full babyface Hangman, like if he's gonna shave that mustache, that Magnum TA mustache, or if he's going to still be this Hangman character, still looking for his redemption.
All I know is anybody carrying a Magnum mustache that's not Joey Ryan, I'll push him to the moon.
There you go.
I said it. I mean it.
I feel like Mercedes is going to take the AEW Women's World Title from Toni Storm.
I think so.
And I feel like a person to take one of she might like relinquish the TBS title, honestly. But I feel like Mercedes taking the AEW Women's title, she's going to drop it to the person she first beat in AEW, and that's Willow Nightingale. I feel like that's what's coming up for Mercedes. Like Mercedes, I think is going to have a decent run with the championship, but I feel like since AEW just re-signed Willow Nightingale, that Willow is going to be like the face of the women's division, which is I'm here for. Like I like Willow. I think she's going to do.
I do too. I do too. I have a question I'm going to pose, and I'm glad I'm posing it with you because she's a fellow burger. What the hell's going on with Britt? Like, are we just never going to revisit her on TV again? Or because I'd love to see her challenge Mercedes.
There's a part of me that wonders if like the stroke fucked her up a lot.
Right? Yeah.
That maybe she can't go anymore. I don't know
Maybe.
that for this is like don't run this to the dirt sheets or anything. This is pure speculation. I don't
Yes.
like I was like 10 feet away from Britt when AEW did its 5th anniversary. That's about the extent of knowledge I have about
right. Right.
But you know, I hope for her sake that it's just like a timing thing, or maybe she's focusing on the dentistry side of things. Like it's for her sake. I hope it's nothing too serious that's going to keep her out, living her dream.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's really no answer I have. Yeah,
because you mentioned Mercedes relinquishing the TBS title, a la when people win the world title, they relinquish Intercontinental or whatever. Excuse me. I would love to see a definitive Chris Statlander run as TBS champion. We got robbed of that, I feel. Same with Jamie Hayter. She would. I think people that have not had a chance to have a definitive solid run as the world champion, when Mercedes gets it, we gotta have a secondary champion. Almost have to be the babyface. That way, the number one contender is always chasing the heel champion.
Yeah.
So I am, Chris, Willow, again, Jamie Hayter, there's a lot of women on the roster that I would love to see get a run with the TBS title. I'm good with a lot of it, and I'm good with the build so far to All In. I just, it's so funny, I listen to a lot of the different podcasters now, more so than I ever used to, and not just on the ad free show side. Like I'm kind of going all over the place. I'm actually going to Van Vliet's show in LA on the 1st or the 6th VIP. So there you go.
Nice.
Definitely I want to saw a picture. The only picture I have with Chris is that the hell would I take that picture at Sam Roberts show for Mania weekend, and we're all like bleached from the flash. Like I'm whiter than I usually am, which is a scary situation. So I want to get a decent 8x10, and that comes with the deal. So anyway, just talking about the fact that Triple H is no better than the old man as far as the predatory booking, simultaneous booking with the other company. It's like, I got news for you guys. That's the Nick Khan. That's the TKO side of things, folks. Okay, I'm not trying to absolve Paul Levesque of blame because Lord knows he's a student of the game. All right, he is that fun game, Jr. But having All In run the same time now as the Great American Bash, having Saturday Night's main event that night, having Ring of Honor the previous day be, competed with other, for lack of a better term, WWE ancillaries. It's like, there's a lot of shady shit going on here. I'm not, but you know what? It's all about competition. It's all about making the fans choose and having the fans have opportunities to see what they want to see and who they want to see, which I'm 100% for. I was in a chat yesterday, and I was talking with JJ about booking the different times for the streams. I'm about stupid, obnoxious, prospering wrestling business. Making us have to do a bunch of different shit.
Like, I mean, I understand it from a business standpoint. I feel like it could also shoot them in the foot too, because what if people are like, this card's kind of underwhelming for NXT. Maybe I'll just go check out AEW because it's on at the same time. Like, You want to be
Yeah.
careful doing stuff like that because by running
Yeah.
stuff at the same time, you risk gaining some people that might be like, oh, well, normally I watch AEW, but WWE's on, so I'll check that out. So it really should go either way, but you don't want to make it
Yep.
too
No,
much
it
of a
could.
make it too much of a competition that you're gonna,
No,
screw everything up.
no, there was a great point made. I forget what show it was, but they are different presentations. The WWE TNA side has premium live events. You're not paying to view them really. You're putting down your 10, $15 a month for Peacock or TNA Plus or Netflix or whatever. And it all is part of the package. And that's why WWE is comfortable with 4 or 5 matches on a non-big five premium event. TNA does more matches, but they're still they still hit that 3 hour mark or pretty close to it under it. AEW, I had to get this perspective, Greg. Oh god, they're so long. There's so many matches. It said that if the shows were early in the afternoon, it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
But because they're on so late, a lot of people have to get up at whatever time in the morning to go to work the next day, especially their Sunday shows. The Sunday long shows are a bitch. And that won't be the case here for Texas because it's on a Saturday.
Right.
So people
I think
can
it starts in the
unless they're
afternoon.
well, see, that's the thing. It starts the afternoon, which is why, okay, well, if they're going to run a Saturday event, we'll just go in the afternoon, and then WWE went, ha. So it's like, okay, but the whole point of it, what I was trying to say is that because they are pay per view, it almost seems like AEW, Tony Khan, whoever you want to credit or blame, feels like they should give the viewing audience more for their buck. So it's almost like they're presenting $100 worth of value but for only $50. I think Sunday's show was a great example of that. Double or Nothing was a goddamn good show. Top to bottom, it was one of the best shows I've seen them do in a long time.
Yeah.
And it was long. And for the East Coasters, I feel you. Like I feel the pain, I do. But it was worth it for the people paying $50 because it was a hell of a show. I will say, and it was pointed out that is generally it was considered for the longest time their main show. It is now All In, of course, but Double or Nothing is still the anniversary show, and for the anniversary show to not have either world title, men's or women's world title defended, was interesting to me. And then
what was Tony and Mina Shirakawa then?
Oh wait. What the hell show was it? I'm sorry, not sorry, it wasn't double. It wasn't Double or Nothing. It was yes, AEW's main show, and then followed up by the next WWE main show is not going to have a male world title defended. That was the point of the event. I apologize, Tony and Mina. I apologize. Both of the main shows from either company is not going to have a men's world title match. I just found that interesting that Money in the Bank is not going to have a world title match because both champions are in a tag team main event.
Yeah.
And again, Money in the Bank's not a big five, or it is a big five, but it's not one of the I guess the tentpole shows. So having the champions involved in a different situation, I guess, is okay. But what was really weird for me this weekend, Greg, and I don't know, I'm not trying to lead the format of your own show, but I was so interested in how Battleground played out. And how the card was laid out too. That was interesting to me as well.
I had a feeling, and we'll get into what happened on Tuesday because Tuesday was absolutely wild for NXT too. I'm excited about it. I'll get into that.
Yes,
but
yes,
Joe Hendry losing the TNA World Championship to a guy from NXT and Trick Williams, like that puts Trick Williams in like a category all his own. I mean, you have Kenny Omega and Christian Cage, but you figure Kenny Omega won the TNA championship on a TNA show.
Yep.
Christian Cage, of course, won it in Pittsburgh on the first AEW Rampage. And now Trick Williams has won the TNA championship on an NXT show. So it's that I posted that there are few people who have won an NXT championship and a TNA championship. Brooke Williams, I believe, is one of 5 or 6 that's done that.
Yeah, and he's in the category of 2 that have won that championship outside of the TNA ring, which is wild that he's in the same landscape as Christian Cage, who is a Hall of Famer, a legend for sure, and a Father of the Year, by God, Christian Cage. God bless the man. It's bullshit, I know, but it's almost Father's Day, so I had to make the ha. Anyway, I for one am ungodly pissed about it. And I know that's gonna, oh boy, it's not because Trick. It's because I knew it. I fucking knew it at Rebellion when Joe retained and Frankie did not win the title in front of his mama, his wife, his child, his best friends in the world, and me and everybody else sitting there for him. Did not win, and then the show ended with Trick Williams standing tall over the TNA World Champion. I went, WWE's dipping their hands in this. I don't like it. And oh no, so it'll be okay. Trick Williams is the TNA champion. I'm right. Give me my trophy for being right. I'm a pompous ass about it. Fuck off.
Yep.
I was so mad because now it's one of those. Okay, yeah, we can have a post on social media where Frankie can, this is what you idiots get for believing in Joe Hendry. Now it's in the hands of somebody else. Frankie's not going to beat Trick Williams for this championship. It's not going to happen. If it happens at Slammiversary, I will be the first one to say I'm glad I was wrong. They're more happy to be wrong, but I don't see it happen.
Do you think that they would throw the TNA championship in a King of the Mountain match at Slammiversary?
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see people involved in it. And I think if there's not a better way for Frankie to get one over and, ascend to the throne by ascending the ladder. I'm here for that as the king of TNA, because that's still the one thing he's not done is win that TNA world title. He's won the X Division title in an Ultimate X match. He's been TNA tag team champion. So yeah, this is where my fandom collides with my friendships with people, and I don't like that about me from trying to be an objective person on shows like this. But it's like, God damn it, I just want my friend to be the world champion. Like he's the one guy in that company's history. It's like there's so many other people. I put the graphic up, the tapestry of the TNA championship. You see those people, and it's like, and Frankie's not in here with the actual shit. It bothers me.
Listen, I'm still bitter about Christopher Daniels not winning the championship like 14 years ago. Yep. Because it was a situation where they were going to Canada or something. Jeff Hardy was the TNA champion at the time.
Yeah.
And Christopher Daniels was the number 1 contender. They were about to go to Canada where Jeff Hardy can't legally go. Right. And I was like, they're going to put the title on Daniels. I don't care if it's only for 2 weeks. They're going to put the title on Daniels. And then Jeff retained. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? This was your chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad Daniels at least won the Ring of Honor title. At least have that.
Yes.
But still.
Yeah. See, Daniels, I more associate with that Ring of Honor status because he was one of the founding fathers, him and Danielson and Low Key. And and then original show. Frankie, we talked about it on our interview I did 2 weeks ago. Went to both of the major companies now and ended up back in TNA because they are the best opportunity. And again, this is me, diving far too under the radar, but I love that Tony was asked about Scorpio Sky in a recent scrub. I thought that was nice. I thought that was very timely of the question asker. And I loved how Tony danced around it like a freaking Fred Astaire student. Dude, come on. Just let the guy go. Stop this. It's ridiculous. He's another guy that should be a world champion somewhere besides the local freaking NWA territories. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, you figure he was multiple time TNT champion, and obviously one of the first AEW World Tag Team Champions.
The first.
Yeah,
Him and Frankie.
Yep, with SCU. And
that's right.
And then they did nothing with it. Like he had this feud going on with Sammy Guevara and stuff, and then you had all the stuff with the Men of the Year and Dan, what's his name?
Every single person involved, like that had any talent worth of salt in that thing, has still maintained. You got Sammy with Dustin now.
Yep.
In Ring of Honor. Ethan Page is once again North American champion, at least until Worlds Collide. Anyway, we'll see.
Well, I think it's his first. It's his first North American, right?
Ethan Page, no, two-time.
Really?
No, I'm sorry. He won the NXT title the first time. I'm sorry. I forget trivia. Trivia master. I have to default. I should know freaking better than argue with you by now.
Hey, listen, I'm off the clock with that. So.
Yeah. We put the pin in freaking multiple thousand here.
The championship is behind that door right there. I don't think it's ever. Leaving.
Hey! Like Michael Cole said at WrestleMania last year, or no, it had to have been last year, or Royal Rumble last year. Y'all bitching about the title not being defended often enough. Somebody come beat him. Anyway,
I'm gonna have to do some freaking what are they called? Championship contender matches or whatever they or eliminator matches.
Eliminator match that means nothing because the champion never loses. And it never loses.
Yeah.
Except Tony the other day.
Yeah. I'll just do eliminator matches and we'll never have to defend the title. It works.
Yeah. And if somebody gets a quick one, well then okay, they've earned it. There you go. But yeah, Ethan Page. Again, Ethan Page, man, he not only came out of that storyline, so like, he came out of that company and went right to NXT, and I'm the champion. Like, what? And Sky sitting, and again, I am telling tales out of class. I'll get in trouble. I really don't give a shit. He's sitting ringside of the TNA event, cheering on his friend because they can't be bothered to fucking put him on AEW television. Like,
I think any company, especially these days, being upset with one of your talents going to another company and supporting your friends. Like, it obviously wasn't an issue for Bayley. Bayley flew overseas to Japan to support Mercedes and won the Rumble, the title, WrestleMania.
So here's the thing. I don't know if they were upset at Sky's presence. I do know that I saw Scorpio Sky at ringside, but I also know that AEW's head of talent relations was at that show too, and he didn't come out in public. He took a picture with Frankie and Sky backstage. Just throwing that out there.
Well, I mean, that's because like Daniels somewhat was still a recent on-screen character, so like it's not as big of a deal for Sky.
And Daniel's also an executive, and that's definitely probably not a good idea if he's out there in public. And I get that. I'm just bitching to bitch because it's like you got a guy that is as talented as Scorpio Sky has consistently been for over 20 years, and he would rather, not, he's not being used. Like, okay, I'm just gonna go support my friend, and y'all put me on TV. Well, I'm not gonna be there this day because my friend might win the world title.
There you go. Brian Doyle, thank you very much for the super chat. Let's mix things up a little bit and get a spin going. Appreciate you.
There we go.
We're absolutely going to do that. So that might get me my $100 threshold. Let's go.
There you go. Well, yeah, that's the euro, right?
As a euro, so I think it's worth a little bit more than I don't know the exchange.
If it's a little more than $1, then there you go.
Give me 1 second. I have the wheel set up. I apologize if I'm blinded by the light. Blinded by the light. Wrapped up like a
douche.
we both mishear the same thing. I love it.
For the record, it's not how the song goes, ladies and gentlemen. Do your Google.
Yeah, it's revved up like a deuce. That's the
revved up like a deuce. Okay,
but it sounds like wrapped up like a douche. So
well, either way, read it like a deuce. If you take that out of context, you're wrapped up like a turd. Okay, well that's even better, I guess, than wrapped up like a douche, I reckon. It's, whatever's
All right.
clever, I suppose.
All right. Oh, holy crap. Let's turn that down.
And at last, I see the light, and I'm blind.
I have this up way too high.
That is what Rob Van Dam said. He never said that. That's not true. I love you, Rob, if you're watching.
All right.
Oh, man.
There's the wheel.
There it is.
We're going to get this thing spun. I hope when Maven's on next week, we get some wheel spins. Because
Hell yeah.
just throwing the chaos of this in.
That's right.
With doing the show.
Hell yeah.
So let's see what we get.
See.
We're going to get... I'm going to do a workout. 20 squats. My knees are going to hate me.
Oh, man. Yeah, I tell you what, Greg. I was up here. Obviously, I'm not at home. You guys can tell by the background. I'm up at my sister's. I was up here last week. I had originally planned to sign in other friends. They couldn't make it. So my sister and my niece came down Monday last week. And I ended up doing a whole day. Like I was there into the night the night before because I had a shift. And then I was in the park all day. I mean, like we did the end of day fireworks. We were there till damn near park close. And got back up here to Victorville, fell asleep about 2, and then woke up and went, oh, good thing I don't work today. My body was going, dude, you are not 20. What are you doing these full days? So I actually bought an ECV. So it is on the way to the house in Candy Country. It's supposed to be there yesterday. Thank you, FedEx. You guys fucking suck.
Give me a third.
How, dude, when you're done doing your squats, I will gladly go off on FedEx because I don't know how those assholes stay in business.
Give me a second. I'm trying to do something so I don't have to continually find the Buddy Dong's music. I'm trying to actually put it on to StreamYard so I can I can scroll down, put it on, and then you guys can actually hear the song.
There you go.
I understand while doing this, it's hard for some people to hear the ongoing song.
No, and it's one of the most ridiculous yet simple theme songs in history, and it totally works for any workout you want to do at home. Like for real, that's what it is. It's like generic gym music.
Really is. But this also gives us like an excuse to, drag the show out and wait for Maddie to get here.
That's right. Which is what we're doing essentially. We're just BSing until Maddie gets here, then we can get his opinion on last week's opinion piece. I know. I'm just kidding. I know.
Like we haven't even gotten into Raw and NXT.
No, and they were both solid shows too.
Yeah, we kind of touched on NXT because we mentioned Ethan Page winning the title, but that's not the title change that happened.
No, and we had a full-on TNA segment on NXT, which is wild to me.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, since you're queuing up by honest, I just have to say, which is like, I'm just so irritated, and it's more myself, I think, than it is actually FedEx, although they are on my list. So yeah, if I ever bring back the actual, clipboarded list of meetings like I had for the list of Jericho era, top of the list is FedEx, because the last time I knowingly used FedEx, it was ordering a WWE shirt for my dad, and it didn't show up on time. So I called FedEx, and then they didn't have an answer. They told me to call WWE. So I actually called the WWE shop's main distribution center. I think it's like in Texas or some shit. And they absolved themselves of responsibility too. I said, well, somebody better send me something because nobody's copping to this shit. So right. WWE refunded me in full for, I think it was an Undertaker shirt I bought for my dad. I could be wrong. I think it would have been after his retirement was over. Next day, it's on the porch.
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm like, all right, free shirt for my pops. I'll take it. And I got store credit. Oh, hey, totally hear it now. Greg is doing the 20 squats. Thank you again, Brian Doyle, for the donation. The good part about this music is Greg gets his workouts in, you get the donation money, and we can think about Chris and Tammy walking down the aisle in those ridiculous body on outfits, but Tammy definitely made them work.
I have watched a pay-per-view match with Chris.
Okay. Say that again.
I watched that match with Skip versus Barry Horowitz.
Oh, from SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Or was it the one where Horowitz wins the first time on Action Zone, whatever the hell it was?
No, it wasn't Action Zone. It was SummerSlam.
Well, yeah, because you were at that SummerSlam.
Yep.
Yes, the show with one match and then the rest. Luckily for you, SummerSlam last year made up for it. So
that's true. Like it was
yes,
much better.
Yes. Have you now been to the Big Four at this point, or are you still one check off one?
I'm still a Survivor Series short.
Okay, see, I'm still a Rumble short.
Now, I've been to the Rumble. It's just
yes.
The one I went to. Listen, I was happy to be at the Rumble.
Of course,
man, I could have gone to so much better.
Yes.
If it's any proof that I do not weigh my bias based on the shows that I attend. Look at the Rumble countdown. 2014 is not very high.
No, that was a not a good show. Just rough show, rough Rumble, really.
Very much so.
Yeah. But then again, my first WrestleMania was 2000, so it kind of is what it is. It's very much the Attitude Era in a 3-hour nutshell. It's a rough show. I've been to many SummerSlams thanks to the LA partnership. And then the Survivor Series, I already checked off the list when it came here in 2018. But I think Adam Pearce and I are the only two people who are actually excited about it going to San Diego this year, because San Diego kind of is what it is. But Adam Pearce lived there for many years and almost was the Padres PA guy. So the fact that he and I are both going to Petco Park and happy about it is a rare thing for Angelino, I suppose.
There you
go. But yeah, Raw. Again, that show went at such a good pace. I did not even realize it was over. Like, oh, okay, we're at the main event. Cool.
Yeah. And we got Liv Morgan back, so
we did.
Factored into stuff.
Dude, her and Roxanne are gonna throw down. I'm here for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so, would you be offended if I were to create a different championship and give Dominic Mysterio the true Grand Slam title at this point? Would you be okay with that?
What do you mean the true Grand Slam championship?
His hot wife, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Roxanne Perez.
I mean, we don't even know like where the Roxanne stuff is going because it's very early, or it could just be fucking with them.
It could, it absolutely could. But if it's not, Dominic is my new wrestling hero over John Cena.
I mean, good on him.
You're a married man, so I understand.
Yeah. I missed this one earlier. Thoughts on the latest development in the Janelle Grant Vince McMahon case. I haven't heard anything. So, like, if you know the details of it, then this will be a learning experience for me as well.
Okay. So what happened was this morning, I think it was this morning, it may have been yesterday, the news was actually announced. Laurinaitis is off the lawsuit. He's cooperating with authorities.
He's off the lawsuit?
He's off the lawsuit completely. He's cooperating with authorities now. So
wow.
My post about this was, once again, basically what I said was, once again, some detestable human being who is on the verge of being held accountable for his shady life skirts away by the skin of his teeth, or however I phrase it online. Mm-hmm. Add this asshole to the list is what I ended up saying. This mucker fucker again. everybody that's watched me and my content and watched me on here with you or No DQ or the Casa or whatever, Johnny Ace and I are not friends. I don't like that man. I would have hit that man in his stupid face if I knew I wouldn't have had any legal trouble with him. He's that high in my list of fuck you. And the fact that he's again gonna stir around anything happening to him legally just chaps my already red ass. This man, the fact that he is cooperating, basically, making a deal with authorities, just
Yeah.
shows how culpable he is in this. Which means, if you follow the thread, and I'm not saying anything official because I don't know officially, I'm just going off what I observed. This
Yeah.
man actively had relations with people outside of his marriage at the time that his wife was going through cancer treatment.
Yeah. Which is fucked.
Fuck you. It's so fucked it's almost not fucked. That's how it is.
Do you
And the
ever
fact,
do you ever think of like the gap between like the Garcia relationships is just so wide because on this side you have an abusive husband and a serial cheater, and then on the complete opposite end you have Brandon.
right? No,
Like I feel bad for
feel bad for Kathy. I
yeah for
so
Kathy
I
for
feel bad for
Nikki.
Kathy for sure.
Yeah,
I feel yeah, Kathy for sure. I I still have a hard time with the whole story with Nicole and Artem. I don't know like what to believe because I wasn't there and I'm not gonna ask my friend. I think that's ridiculous, right?
yeah,
Um, I will say, I will say this. People have their, you know, opinion interpretations of Nicole and her relationship with John Cena and her relationship with Artem. I can't pronounce Artem's last name. I'm gonna go and try.
yeah,
Um, but you know, people don't realize how much of her and John was for television purposes. I'll say that. And hearing John on Stephanie's Places yesterday, this morning on the way in, actually on the way here, I watched Stephanie's Places. John was the subject this week, and hearing him talk about Shay just warmed my heart because you can tell how seemingly finally content he is with his life.
yeah.
And I want that so bad for the Garcias and their mom. And, you know, part of the statement that was released from Janelle Grant's side of things was that John just, Lord Ice wants to go on with his life. I hope he does. And I hope it's to the other side of the world, to Siberia somewhere. Stay the fuck away from everybody else.
Yeah.
Because he's a deplorable piece of shit. He's one of the worst people I've ever met, and that's considering how long I've been around, how many people I've met. That's a pretty tall statement, but I don't shy away from it. I don't. I just people not being held accountable for their crap just chaps me, Greg. I know you know that.
Yeah.
It just irks my shit that he's gonna just get away with whatever he is gonna get away with. And I hope, my only hope that is if it is proven that Vince did any of this, that he has to pay the price with
Yeah.
this, whether it's jail time or restitution or whatever, because somebody needs to be held accountable for whatever the hell went down within this company and within this with this corporate money all these years.
Yeah.
Because it's just a bad stain on the business. I don't give a shit about Vince's life or it looks bad on the business.
I will say this: if Laurinaitis and or Vince doesn't suffer the consequences in this life, I feel like the afterlife may be a very rocky road, and that's being incredibly.
If you believe in the afterlife, then I have no doubt that they will face that at some point. I have also the belief that neither one of them really care about that.
That's very possible.
And again, I've only met Vince McMahon once, and he was nothing but gracious to me at that point. But so was his wife. And my opinion on his wife has soured exponentially in the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah, and we're not going to get into the politics side
Nope.
of things because
Nope.
again, I mean,
It's a work.
you saw the shirt in the graphic, and if you hadn't
It's a
before,
work.
then
Yeah.
this will be another way to advertise it. Look at the shirt.
There you go. Politics. Yeah.
I'll hide that.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. It's very much a work. And I think, Greg, that's part of the problem is that these two males, I'm not going to call them men because I don't think they're real men, but these two male humans have lived their life in a completely kayfabe world for so long they don't know what's real and what's not anymore. And Fortnite is not going to be held accountable for it at this point. So it's like, and again, people get up my ass about Johnny Ace, and I for the people that I offend with my opinion about something, first of all, it is my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. But if it actually deeply offends you that I go off on that guy every time his name is brought up, then I do sincerely apologize. And I'm sorry if I've turned you off of my programming or programming I appear on. That's not my intent. But the fact that he's going to get away with this shit, again, just bothers me. It bothers me on a basic human level. And I don't think I'm wrong.
No, I don't think you have to apologize for having an opinion either, because this is a place where, and
I know.
the last couple weeks is a testament to that. Like, we give our opinions. If you don't like them, like, let us hear about it. Like, honestly,
please.
Because guess what? If we give our opinions on the show, nobody says anything, then we may have a point, or like not enough people hear it. It's one of the two. But like, obviously, if people are up in arms about what we say, they're going to let us know.
Yeah, so I am always of the opinion, if somebody has an opinion different than mine and they can make a legitimate case for where their side of it is stronger than mine, the floor is yours. Please, somebody come on here and defend Johnny Ace Holt. Somebody come on here and please defend stuff like that. First of all, you ain't raked over the coals on demand watches because you're going to be defending something like that. That's your choice. Yeah. But if I'm wrong, I am willing to admit I'm wrong. I was wrong a couple weeks ago on the No DQ review because I have been very sour on my opinion of my all-time favorite. And yes, my opinion on that person has soured because of his affiliations with other people in politics. Again, we're not getting into politics. And I was called out for it, and I took a step back and went, you know what? The person coming down on me for it was absolutely right. Because I don't know that person intimately or have encountered him enough to have a complete opinion of this person. I'm going off of what I hear in the media, and that's wrong. That's wrong of me to do that, to form an opinion on somebody without enough of a factual basis, whether it's personal interaction, whether it's, intimate knowledge from a mutual party, whatever it is. Ace is different. Far too many encounters, far too much intimate information. I just want to punch him in his face.
Yeah. That being said, like, I think there's something to be said for observation of people. And I am somebody who, yes, is very quiet in person, but I am always observing everything that's going on. I hear a lot of things. I talk a lot of things back. Like, I don't think people give me the credit for, absorbing as much information as possible and processing it in my own way. I don't immediately react unless it's to like hit somebody with a one-liner. And
Yeah.
I like it that way because I get to sit back, think about it, and think,
Yep.
okay, is this really how this person is? And in the case of Terry Bollea, like, he's kind of shown who he is. He is
Yeah.
developed. He's really becoming Hulk Hogan, but it's a very self-serving type of thing. And as you grow older, you realize, maybe Bobby the Brain Heenan had a point about him.
I think he's becoming more like Hollywood Hogan than he wants to admit.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And Bischoff himself said this on the when they were talking about the immediate aftermath of him appearing at the RNC. It's like Terry seems like he's finally come to terms with the merging of Terry Bollea and Hulk Hogan. And for all intents and purposes, the person we see out there now, whether it's campaigning for Trump or advertising his beer or forming this freestyle wrestling company,
Yeah.
that is Terry Bollea. That is Hulk Hogan. That is the person he is. And again, I have a hard time because I sometimes forget that I was 7 when I discovered Hulk Hogan. And
Yeah.
at 7 years old, ooh, bright red, bright yellow, big muscles, big strong guy defeating the evil bad guy, that's good shit, pal.
Mm-hmm.
But at 42, when even if you step back and you don't have the amount of internet access that I have, or you don't have the knowledge of stuff that I have absorbed in the last almost quarter century covering this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
just base surface level, it's like it seems a little shady now, like
Yeah.
more than a little shady. So I I get where, and I appreciate the defense of my stance on Hogan at being justified, but it's like in the moment I was just going off on it because of one facet, and going off on somebody on that one facet again, it's a dangerous thing. It is a work. Buy the t-shirt on Greg Schiart's site, please, because damn it, that shirt's gold, and quite frankly, we want to get Greg the money. But when you wrap all of it up together, it's like, okay, I feel a little bit better having said you haven't said that. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's hard. People say don't meet your heroes. They always let you down. When I met him, he didn't let me down.
Yeah.
If I met him now, it might be a different conversation.
Right. Well, and it's like
I'm listening.
I'm glad that 10 years ago I met Shawn Michaels, and I didn't meet him in 1996 because I'm sure meeting
Yes.
Shawn Michaels in 1996 and 2015 would have been two completely different interactions. Of course, I was
100%.
way younger in the 90s, but like being able to meet him post getting clean, finding God, and doing what he's doing, living his best life, it's a pretty cool thing. I still would love to meet Mercedes. Like that's still a thing. I would love to just thank her and like show my appreciation for everything that she's done. Will that ever happen? I don't know. Like I don't know where all this stuff is going to lead, but I have a feeling like good stuff is coming, not just for people in my life. I feel like this brand, especially next week, I feel like next week's an important show. Obviously, we have Maven on, but I feel like that could be a little bit of a changing of the guard, if you know what I mean. I feel good about it.
I hope that for you. I wish so that I could be there. I am still working on that with the company. I am still trying to secure that, at least that hour plus. It's hard, man. We're at peak season, man. Summer is here, and we are just inundated with yes. So they need all hands on deck. Yeah. I'm trying. I really want to be there for you. I do.
Yeah.
Sorry, the perspective change. I had this camera sitting on this water bottle, so I'm the people at home. It's like, sorry, I'm like way back here now, but I'm dehydrated. By the way, I told Greg I was trying this new Gatorade flavor I discovered at the.
You must have liked it.
Pineapple. Yeah, pineapple mango. Highly recommend. Not my favorite, but it's going to get in the rotation.
Yeah, this is just straight water. So,
Well, I mean, so is this now, except for the cute little Mickey balloon thing. And that's smart.
yeah. Going back to what you were saying though, like I feel like politics being the decider of people's opinions on people, like people started to do that with Undertaker too. It's like, guys, is it really that important who somebody votes for? It's like I'm a big fan of people with all different kinds of political ideology. I don't. If that's the sole reason I judge them, then that's a problem. Now, if it's the sole reason, like they're known in the world, like if they are just known for their politics and like that's all you know about,
then yeah.
But like if they're like an entertainer, if they're this or that or whatever, and they just happen to have an opinion and you just shut them down because of that opinion, you're stupid. Like you're just dumb. Like that's so stupid to like throw away all your opinions. It's like, oh, they disagree with me on this. Well, fuck that guy. I'm not gonna do that. That's so
that is no better than the people you are condemning for their opinion.
That's absolutely it. Like
it is a completely narrow judgment based on a narrow opinion. Like Undertaker is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Did he outwardly state he was voting for one person or the other? Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
did he even have that? I was going to say he even had that. And to be fair, that was more of the president-elect interviewing Undertaker than the other way around when it came right down to it. I actually enjoyed that. I don't enjoy a heck of a whole lot with that person involved, but I found that entertaining. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that show, and I think that because Mark Calloway did not deep dive into it like Terry Bollea did, I think that's why rational people can separate it.
Yeah.
You know, by the same token, you know, Batista went completely the other way, the hard way. And it was like, Dave.
Well,
no.
Batista is very politically driven, and like it doesn't take away from his like ability to act, his ability to wrestle. Like he's still good dude from like everything that I've seen. I don't know him personally, but like I'm not gonna shut him out either because of his political.
I also just, you know, I find Batista's acting funny, or you know, whatever he's in. I do enjoy his acting work. I wasn't a fan of his last two returns to WWE, if I'm being honest, but you know, that's, you know, it just kind of was what it was. But again, I don't think anybody. And again, I was shown to be wrong in this snap, not even snap, in judging my opinion of one person on that one thing. But as you pointed out, there have been several instances where the person I was quote unquote condemning has just shown to be, and it's still happening even as recently as this month. Right there, Benjamin Shelton. Twice. That was
like that. That's just disrespectful at that rate. And
no, it is 100%.
Shelton and MVP both went off on him on Twitter, and stuff like that makes you think it's like, okay, there's a lot of coverage by the media of the kind of person that Hulk Hogan is. If people who have had direct interaction with him are saying the same things, then maybe there's some validity to it. Like if
there is
multiple people verifying the same story. It's not like some conspiracy. It's like, okay, you know, maybe there's some facts behind this.
No, it was easy to dismiss Jesse Ventura and his conspiracy theories because he was a lone voice for so long. Yeah. Oh, you know, Hogan, you know, ruined our chance to have a union, and I can't do as good as Jesse as Karrion Kross. So sorry, Jesse. Sorry, Karrion. But it, you know, just the stories keep popping up, and I've now had to accept the fact that it's like, okay, I can still turn on my clips and I can still watch him march out to Real American. By the way, R.I.P. Rick Derringer, such a bummer.
And the demolition.
And the demolition theme among I didn't even know he was on the track for Hang On Sloopy. He got a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff I didn't know about. Shout out to JJ for pointing those out to me. I appreciate that, Jay. But yeah, I can still watch. I just can't watch him do interviews outside of the context of WWE or WCW, or even I can even watch the stuff in TNA. Harder than this, but watching him have conversations on the air now with regular interviews is not doable. And that's not me taking away from my fandom. That's just me having to separate.
Yeah.
Unlike separating my fandom from old NXT to new NXT, because new NXT is kicking all kinds of ass.
Yeah, new NXT is firing on all cylinders. We mentioned Ethan Page taking down Ricky Saints for the NXT North American Championship, and probably one of the most shocking championship changes we've seen in a long time. JC Jane defeated Stephanie McCur to become the new NXT Women's Champion. As somebody who thinks that Toxic Attraction is probably the greatest female stable of all time. Wow. That is awesome for JC. Like, Gigi never really got that shot, and obviously Mandy had her long championship reign. But JC Jane becoming champion last night was super cool. Like, I'm happy for her. I've always been like, as soon as JC Jane came on, like, I get drawn to people that I look at and was like, I like what they bring to the table. They just have a presence about them that they kind of get it. They get the business, they get that, and this and that and the other thing. I was like that, like, early on with Mr. Kennedy. I tell the story. I've told the story a couple times. Mr. Kennedy, the very first appearance he had on WWE TV as Mr. Anderson on what the hell was that? Velocity.
Yeah.
The very first appearance, like, I instantly clicked with him. I loved it.
I remember that. Yep.
And to this day, love Ken Anderson. He just did a podcast with Chris Van Vliet, which
Chris, yes, so good. So good. You got to watch it for real.
I saw the clip where he got emotional about Eddie, and it was just heartbreaking, man. But I have to go listen to the whole thing.
No, you do. I do carve that hour out of your day. I'm dead ass serious.
Yep. Maybe one of these days where I have a lunch break at work or something, I'll check that out.
There you go.
But yeah, and I was instantly drawn to Sasha Mercedes. I immediately connected with her. I saw what she brought to the table. I had latched onto her. I think she's going to be a success. I think she's going to be super. I didn't realize how big the impact she would have in the business, and I am so happy.
Right.
And JC Jane's another one of those. I feel like a lot of people overlook JC Jane for a long period of time. But I, in the back of my mind, and it sounds cheap to say now because she just won the NXT Women's Championship, and people think, oh, well, he's just saying that because she's champion now. I've been having this feeling of JC Jane is something special for years before Toxic Attraction broke up. When she was in the middle of that, it's like JC Jane is something special.
I mean, the fact that Mandy was champion and her and Gigi were tag team champions, it was like, okay, which one's going to be, the breakout of the tag team? And it looked like it was going to be her because she's the one that turned. And then they went with Gigi, and it didn't work out with her ultimately. And I still can't fathom that release, but I don't work for the company. I don't know. But yeah, people definitely undervalued JC Jane, even now, as, for lack of a better term, the leader of Fatal Influence. And I loved that they teased Dissension, and the three of them just completely, fooled everybody. It was great. I love me some Fallon Henley.
Oh, Fallon
I
Henley,
need
fantastic.
Fallon Henley, Mickey James, and Evolution. Please book that. I don't care what I have to sacrifice at this point. Just give me that match one-on-one.
That'd
For
be
the love of
fun.
God, Paul and Sean, please. Because God darn it. But and I love Jasmine too. Like all three of them are great, but man, JC, you could see for a brief moment the heel washed away, and she was legitimately like emotional about it.
Oh yeah.
And it was great to see because and people, oh, these women every time they win they hug it out and they break it down in tears. Like, you know what? Shut all the way the fuck up. Just please do that
Man,
for me.
how many
Because
guys have you seen cry over their first world championship?
seriously, Kurt Angle went down on his knees with a booger in his nose when he won the world title, and people chastised him for it, rightfully so, because it was funnier and shit. But he still won the title. Like
Kevin Owens when he won the Universal title. Like you see that like little clip of him like crying into the title because he became champion. Like
Owen Hart when he beat Bret had a freaking what looked like a very inappropriate thing hanging off the end of his lip. People just fixate on the stupidest shit. But it's
I
like
I
Go ahead.
love the Owen Hart Bret finish from WrestleMania 10. If for no other reason than you see this wide shot and you just see Owen flipping Bret off in the middle of the ring. Like it's full on new generation era. So like that stuff is kind of
100%.
unheard of. But like you can tell that Owen just goes to Bret and it's like right there, right in the face.
Oh, so good.
Lawler picks up on it, doesn't say anything. He just laughs at it.
No. Yeah. Jerry's laughing. Bret's face is like, whoa. Like, and I'm sure they got to the back. They're like, oh, great.
Well, I mean, fortunately, the camera was zoomed out enough. You couldn't really tell. Well, I mean, you could.
Right. But what I'm saying is when they got to the back, I'm sure they were probably going to catch crap, and then Bret kind of gave the look and then okay, never mind. Because how do you follow that? Like Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyway, so happy for JC. Like you. I've been a fan of theirs. We over on the Central Bible Studio side of things have been touting all three of them, JC and Gigi and Mandy for years. Touting JC and Fallon and Jasmine now for as long as they've been together. I am so ready for them to just tear shit up. And I'm glad that it happened now because now Stephanie can go into this match at Worlds Collide, this tag match they've got booked, and have this chip on her shoulder when she's representing WWE in the match against AAA. I'm great with it.
Yeah.
I low key wish I could go to the shows on June 7th. I can't afford either one, to be honest with you, especially Money in the Bank with the triple digit price tag they want at the Intuit Dome. And I'm not. It is what it is. They're making money. They're making business, like me, whatever. But both these shows look like they're going to kick some serious ass. So, that's the thing. There has not been a show lately that I've watched on Peacock or pay-per-view or whatever that I've been 100% disappointed with in this calendar year. And I think that's great for wrestling because all of us jaded old-timey, walking with crutches, walkers wrestling fans that always has something to bitch about. The business of the business is great. The quality in the ring is, better. I've actually watched AEW. Tonight will be three straight weeks.
There you go.
So,
if you want to talk about a little more about something, I'm going to disappear off camera for a minute, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's just one of those, people, I talked about, excuse me, I talked about, the typical wrestling fan just always wanting or having something to bitch about. Trying to keep the comments doesn't working. Anyway, I am really genuinely invested in wrestling fandom again to the point where I'm trying to coordinate my schedules around being able to watch Raw and SmackDown and NXT and Dynamite and much more so Impact TNA show. And I'm trying to get resubscribed to Ring of Honor because I do want to see what's going on over there. We said it for the better part of a year, maybe even 2 years now, over on the watch alongs. I try to participate in as much as I can. It's never been a better time to be a wrestling fan, and I don't think that's dwindled any. I know people are talking a lot about, is Triple H really the best thing for business, and the quality of it. As a fan, I'm entertained. As a fan, I'm drawn in. As a fan, I'm lamenting the inability to go to these shows, whether it be for expense reasons or inability to have time to attend. I really want to go. I really wanted to be at the New Japan show that was out here a few weekends ago. I really want to go to Money in the Bank, and I really want to go to Worlds Collide, and I'm still planning on going to Survivor Series, and I still want to see all these things. But it's the first time in a long time that I feel like I have to be selective in what I go to, and I'm not wanting to be. There's so much quality stuff. Dave Marquez's promotion is having a show next Tuesday. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. I forget what day it is. I'm sorry, Dave. I apologize. That I really want to go to out in Irvine. There's just so much quality stuff out there right now that it's really, for my money, for my fandom, it's hard to complain about wrestling right now. Complaining about it just makes me believe you're purposely seeking out the reason to binge. And again, I still even now have a problem with that. I'm of the philosophy now, and maybe I wasn't in my younger days of podcasting. Greg probably tests better than I can because he was a fan and I was not objective. It was me. I have such a hard time with the concept of, other than the fact that it's your job and it's your job is to critique the product, which, is not my job anymore. Really. I have a really big problem with, if you have a problem with a product, just pick up the remote control and going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Not dipping into your wallet and putting money in, on WWE Shop or TNA merch or whatever. It's like, if you have a problem, just fucking support
it. And here's my thing. If you don't enjoy a product, if you don't enjoy something that you're doing, if there's no gun to your head and you're not making money off of it, you can do two things. You can either do something or shut the fuck up.
Yeah. And
because why sit in your misery when you can just do something else? Like, you are not tied down to watching something. Like, nobody's has you chained up and has your eyes pried open watching everything, and there's no scenario like this. Quit treating it like you are putting yourself through this misery. I understand that people being miserable and people being angry is what gets views and clicks on Twitter. But if you're appealing to your Twitter audience, you're an idiot. The worst people in the world have Twitter.
Yeah. And
I'm less and less. I'm honestly sick of it.
Right. I know.
And that's because it's I feel like I am shouting into a void on that site. And also, Twitter, your premium service sucks ass and does not work with streaming.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Honest to God, it is the worst setup ever. You want us to pay for it, and yet it still doesn't work. Elon, you better be giving me my money back. It is false advertising, and quite frankly, lawsuits should come for that. So that's completely ridiculous.
Premium plus I'm sure works, but I ain't paying another $50 a month. That's not happening. If I do that, I might as well get streamer back.
Listen, I feel like that would be beneficial.
Right?
Yeah, but
you made a great point. I've said this for years. If there's nobody having a gun to your head to watch Raw or TNA or whatever, and if there is somebody holding a gun to your head making you watch one of those shows or watching us, blink twice, let us know. We'll call the police for you.
Yeah.
Seriously, let us know, because we don't want that for you.
Yeah. And on that, next week.
On that note, we're not here.
Yeah. Next week, he's coming back to the show. I'm really excited about this. You know, Maven being back on the Greg Cherry brand on the Greg Cherry show. It's my own fault. I didn't advertise him last time. I thought about it to myself like a couple months later. It's like, holy crap! I Super Bowl 2000 Maven. Like, what the hell am I doing?
You sure shit did, right? Yeah.
Like a lot of people didn't even know it was part of the Christmas show because I didn't advertise it worth a shit. But guess what? I'm advertising the shit out of this one. I'll tell you that much.
Hell yeah. Yes, I'm going to be, is it reposting now, what they call it? Retwixing? What do they call it?
Listen, I'm posting on Twitter. I'm posting on Instagram. I'm using Instagram again, guys. Like, I'm actually trying to use Instagram.
That's right. So, that's right.
Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of those at Greg Cherry Brand.
All the things.
So if you're watching this back,
with a beautiful burgundy background, by the way, I'm digging the color scheme on that background. Very nice.
Yeah. So if you guys want to check me out there, I'm going to be posting more videos. I'm trying to think. I'm probably going to do for my Saturday video, which I'm starting to do videos every Saturday now. They're not live ones.
Yeah.
They're pre-recorded and edited. I like doing that. I think this Saturday I'm going to do Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank predictions because that's I feel like that's easy to do. And then the following week, I think I'm going to do my AI theme song and the making of it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because you and Maddie are the only two people besides me who have ever heard it.
That's fair. That's very true.
Because Jen hasn't even heard it. Like, I haven't even
oh geez.
And that's more of a like, you know, maybe that's not what she needs right now is to hear a theme song about himself. so I figure.
By the way,
if I'm going to do something like that, I'm going to like actually go through the process and explain how I did it, so you guys can make your own entrance video.
Yes. Well, while you're doing that next Saturday, which is June 7th, the day of Money in the Bank or Worlds Collide, if you're not going to go to either one of those shows or watching one of those shows, please come out to Westlake Village and support my friends as well. Because they're actually having a show in SoCal, God forbid. QR code there for the link. They only have general admission left. Everything else in that venue is already sold out. I'm so proud of my girls. So happy for my friends. I'm not even doing the merch for them this time. I actually bought a ticket this time.
There you go.
They don't need my ass. They got somebody doing the merch for them. So we'll do shit. So I'm gonna go support my friends as a fan. Support the Greg Cherry Brand at Greg Cherry Brand across all the things. Support pro wrestling. Support indie wrestling. Support everything. Hell, if this scratches if this itches your scratch or whatever the hell I'm trying to say, support the freestyle wrestling. Yeah, scratches your wrist. There you go. Support the freestyle wrestling Hogan's doing. Screw it. Why not? Just go support something. Be passionate about something. And as Greg always closes the show with, don't be a what?
Don't be a jag.
That's right.
So thank you guys for joining us for this extended episode. Sorry, Maddie couldn't be here. Maybe next week. But until then, we thank you for joining us. Join us next week when Maven is back on the show. Don't be a jag. And we'll see you next week on the Greg Cherry Show.